So in today's video we're going to talk about a lesson that I had many years ago now that made a massive difference. And I went in for the lesson because I was struggling. And what the pro did is he gave me a real simple drill. And he basically said, I want you to swing to here, okay, and to here. Now he referenced the clock face system, but this is often known as the L2L drill. The L2L drill is a fantastic drill, and what it taught me at the time was two things. It taught me that the club face has to close, so I started to be more aware of what my hands and arms are doing. And the second thing it did is it taught me timing and how important tempo and timing was. Now, the reason why this video has been prompted is because I meet a lot of people for the first time online, and they have a real misconception of how to square the club face. Now, golf is complicated because we all grip the club slightly differently. Some of us grip it stronger, some of us grip it weaker, some of us have more rotation, some of us have less rotation. But the point that I wanted to make in this video is you need to make sure that you're aware that there has to be a degree of arm rotation to square the club face. Because the amount of golfers that I hear that just think, oh, well, no, I just turn. And then that's why they end up coming down really steep in the downswing and then struggling to have like a stable club face. And then other golfers, like, they'll try and say, oh, I flex my wrist and that squares the club face. And it's like, it's not enough. And what I mean by this is if I hold the club like so out in front of me and I just introduce like a pure hinge action, what you can actually see that happens is the hinging motion itself just sort of drags the club open and behind me. So from this perspective, it looks like it's kind of more square to our plane line, but relative to the target line, it's wide open. So even pros that do flexion, they still have body rotation and they still do an element of arm rotation. So the way you're going to fix this is by making sure first and foremost that your sort of general, should we say, swing direction and club path are pretty neutral. An easy way to do this is to place a bucket opposite it, so a couple of inches away. So what I mean is you're not squaring the club face by doing too much rotation or getting too far underneath. So if you can kind of place the bucket there, and as long as that club can pass through there, that would generally mean that obviously your club path is pretty good. And then the second one, I say this to all my students, is try to be a little bit more aware of your starting direction. So I've got a 50-yard marker just in front of me here, and every lesson that comes through that door, I get them aligned towards that 50-yard marker, place an object in front of them to make sure the club path is okay, and then all of a sudden they hit some shots and it goes starting off in a different direction. And generally the reason for this is because they don't realise that they have to do a bit of arm rotation. So my last point is what happens in the golf swing is we swing back, we sequence the downswing, and by the time the club shaft is parallel, we should hopefully get into a position something like so, where the hands are opposite the trail thigh. What happens from here is the hands continue their journey a little bit. There's a little bit more body rotation. The wrists will naturally uncock, but you can see the club face. So the club face is wide open. So that means from this position to the impact, there has to be an element of forearm rotation to square the face. And we see this with all of the pros, and that's what you need to do. And that's why I think practicing very simple L2L drill might just bring you back to the realms of coordination, a little bit sort of old school, but it's something that still massively exists. See you soon.